Alright, let's do this. Okay. Is this my frames or your frames? Okay, I think it's your frames. As a side note, as Farah has a big problem with conserving fuel now, just generally. So whenever you have a pocket, if you want before you shift, you can always rocket jump. Once you're about to die, right? So you should just rocket jump. You'll gain a lot more altitude. You'll save some fuel, right? It's kind of a big deal with current Farah. You also want to play pretty much on the roof, so that way you can actually use rockets to like keep yourself on top of the roof even when you're running out of fuel. So A, sliding will reduce out your fuel consumption, right? And B, you have the extra option of rocket jumping to like sustain your fuel usage, so you can permanently play over this rooftop basically. And because you'll have more fuel, you can more carefully manage like how much you actually peek over the roof, and you're less likely to get your head taken off by an Asher or Widow. But you see how like right now you're kind of way above the roof, right? And you're running out of fuel. So not only is like a hit scan more likely to hit you slash this May, but also like you're just running out of fuel. It's not that bad for this situation actually, but like if you just played here, right, you could hang out here and you can hang out here indefinitely, more or less, on the roof line, and yeah, you just have more uptime in the fight. More rockets. More rockets is good.
Get back. Damage increase. Ice wall coming up. Thanks for the assist.
That was a very dangerous way to center. Yeah, you're just not finding a good enough angle. So a lot of Farah in a competitive sense, right? So in a rank setting, you can actually play really aggressive and do some really dumb stuff until they start bringing out the triple hit scams or whatever. But in like in a comp setting, Farah in a lot of games is mostly just about finding a good angle where you can shell them for free, right? So if you just sit here, right, save fuel, and then as you're running, and then like slide over slightly, and then rocket jump here, like now you're in a great angle to just like shoot down on the Rhine for free, right? Especially if the Rhine's pushing into your Rhine, right? You shoot him, and then like eventually just runs out of sustain, right? And then they start burning cooldowns to save him. They start backing up, right? And then you convert to here, right? Now that you force them back, right? Instead of just taking the spot before it's free, right? And then you can start playing this roof, right? And you start shooting them from above here, and they really can't do much about it, right? So the goal is finding ways to work yourself in a position. You can't just like start off by going to the position unless it's very free, right? Like it's like Lijiang Gardens, they're running no hit scan kind of free, right? So in this case, like you need to work your damage first, right? Or else your team's going to get run over. So you just need to find ways to work your damage, and like you don't have to go for backline every time. I know it's very satisfying going for backline because you get kills. And kills are like the most obvious way of winning, right? But like you spend this entire fight going for an Ana, and if like you're going to commit, you have to really commit, right? So okay, you can still commit. But you do need to just like literally like jump down, like and just like get in this Ana's face and try and kill her, right? Like fly here, like just literally get to like this distance and try just like make sure you hit these rockets, right? That's how if you really want to get aggressive, that's what you have to do, right? If you're playing like really defensively, you're playing like these long angles, right? Use your shift already, right? And it's just not very effective, right? If you look at your ult, right? I mean, you still have more ult than anyone in your team, but your team has had a very bad first fight. So like this is not exactly a good thing. You just didn't have a lot of ult considering how free you are in this game. Like they have a Tracer and a Mei, right? So this Tracer's only ever a threat to you if you actually get poked out of the sky. So realistically, all they have to really focus you is a Mei Icicle, right? Which she really kind of doesn't want to shoot you that much. And Ana, right? Who has other responsibilities as well. So it's fairly difficult for them to actually deal with you. It's actually very difficult. So if you play this right, this is a pretty free game. You can just leverage this into an easy fight. But you had a lot of problems in this fight. Oh, I'm like, you had a lot of problems like actually like sustaining this. Finding it. Oh my god, the lag. Nice rocket. It's all fine so far. Like, you gotta remember that, like, yeah, when you're going for targets, you can really just all in on them. They actually have no way to respond.
Operating
There's no
at
diva, there's
maximum
nothing, like, just, like,
efficiency.
drop in on them. There's nothing, not much they can do. Keep going on the lift, that was really good.
Thanks for the assist.
Defend the lift, that was also really good. Be careful playing this. Honestly, that Lucio might have been worth a solo barrage. Like, if you get to this point, right, where you know you can't be shot by any hit scans, and the Lucio's still running at you, you can just barrage him and kill him. The most important thing with this barrage is just try not to die, right? Either kill a lot of people, so that you're an easy res, and you win the fight, or you barrage just one guy from safety, and you just kill him, right? If you kill anyone, it's just good.
You're covered.
That's your honor. I know you want. Oh, I should probably turn off the health bars. I know you want to shoot this guy, right? But there was an Ash sitting directly underneath you, not looking at you, right? So with fire, you always need to prioritize hit scans because they're the only ones who can kill you, right? Generally. So if you get to here, kill the Lucio, right? That's great. Ana, as one does, right? Right here, that's an Ash, right on your left, right? So I know this Ana's looking at you, right? But this Ash is what's going to kill you. So you really need to go for the Ash. Just take her out of the fight as soon as you can, and then from there you can transition to whatever you want, because there's nobody that can actually kill you anymore, right? Or like really even keep you at bay. The only thing this Ana can do is sleep you, right? And that's kind of a big deal, but this Ash can kill you, and that's worse.
I will not wait.
So generally speaking, whenever the team runs Zarya instead of D.Va, barrage is super free and like almost a guaranteed fight win every time. What you do is you either sync it with Nano, or you like give it like DM or both, right? And you just really all in on getting the barrage damage in, and you'll just win fights because they have no way of like mitigating it. Right, having some problems with tech, it's fine. Alright. Now you gotta pick another good spot. Okay, so you're playing too defensively. Again, Aspara, you want to get above doors as soon as you can. If you get here, good lord. They're like, if the hit scans go the wrong way, they're not getting out, right? And if they are going the right way, you conk over, right? You're over here, right? Boom. You're in position. They're not getting out, right? You just need to keep tabs on it, right? It's actually terrible for them to get out, especially if it's a Widow, right? Who like really needs to jump out and charge for a second. And if teammates are calling, like say you want to hold this right side, you just tell your Reaper to like sit on this door, right? So your Reaper just sits here. Hitskin tries to come out, he two shots it, right? And then you just play here and you don't let him out, right? But you want to get into these positions as fast as you can. You don't have time to waste here, right? As a hero, like you just need to like you're best when you're directly above the opponent. So that's where you want to get to if you have the time. Yeah, these long spam angles are what you do when you don't have a choice, right? But because you do have the choice, you could be here and just like shooting this guy, right? There's no need to like hide the fact where you are as Pharah. Like what you do as Pharah is you present a problem. Like the only time you hide where you are as Pharah is when you're going for barrage, right? Or you're trying to sneak up on somebody to kill them, right? But for the most part, like what you do as Pharah is you present them a problem and make them try to solve it, right? In the meantime, you're the one who's playing the Pharah. You control the tempo, and you also can organize your help, right? So like if you're worried about Widow coming out from the side, right? You just be like, hey, Josh, play left door. I'm playing right door, right? And now Josh will play left door, and the Widow comes out and she dies, right? So you can do stuff like that, right? If you're using boosters too much, too close to the skybox, and it's actually like costing you a lot of fuel, by the way. I don't know if you realized. Like they're getting out onto the map too much for free, essentially, right? As far because there's only 3 doors, right? This is like think of it like Gibraltar, right? On Gibraltar, there are 4 doors they can come from, and they can all be suppressed from the same angles, right? So because you're playing Pharah, there's 3 doors. You just camp these 2 doors, right? And you can shoot rockets in that door, and you can transition over relatively quickly. In the meantime, you just tell your one of your teammates or two to like control this door as well, right? And then you're chilling. They can't get out, right? But the problem is now they've gone to this point and got to use Grav. Did they use Grav? Okay, that was their Grav. They got to use Grav before your team before you really did any damage, right? Plus you've had Barrage this whole time, and as they try to walk out this door, when you're sitting here with Barrage, like GG, they're dead, right? And then you just call for your diva, like you have your diva and your Rhine swap places, your Rhine walks cart, your diva sits around this general area, and then when you Barrage, he just flies at you in DMs, and you're gonna live, right? And like that's what you can do as Pharah, right? On Eichenwald, for example, right? On the Eichenwald doors, you just sit above the doors, right? Like you just gotta make sure you gotta put yourself in these positions to succeed as Pharah, because like you have a massive strategic advantage in these situations.
How to get down.
Now you're trying to play like
Clearing the area.
a game of chicken with like the Widow, and that's never a game you really want to play with as Pharah.
Hiya.
Now, like, so the thing about Pharah is pushing into a Pharah is really hard, but pushing as a Pharah is also really hard because now that you have to push into the Widow sightlines, the game is now really, really difficult, right? And this is why our Pharah comps typically actually lose a lot of steam, is because like, not the only reason. Again, there's a lot of problems, especially with this map, but part of the reason why Pharah our Pharah comps tend to run out of steam is because you don't really play these really aggressive spots, right? And where you just keep them like, if you run out of fuel, like you can just drop down here, reset, and then come back up. It's effectively the same idea, right? But as Pharah, like pushing into you is really, really hard, right? Hit scans, the angles are terrible if you play the right spots. There's just no good spots to do it. They'll eat a lot of damage everywhere they go. They risk getting booped on certain maps, right? But once you need to do that, like good luck getting this Widow without being seen, right? Like it's just so hard. If she plays here, like oh my god, getting the map is like actually obnoxious, right? So you just need to make sure you leverage every bit of control you have to really force the issue, because that way the enemy team, like you don't give the enemy team a chance to respond. You snowball as hard as you can, right? But if you don't snowball, you're actually in a really rough spot as Pharah generally.
Damage boost engaged. Hiya.
Like imagine if that Widow was playing up there, you just die, right? But because the Widow is doing the same thing as you are, and she's playing way too far back, right? She's no longer exerting pressure, right? And this is why Josh, for example, gets so much results, and like why like he oftentimes like breaks up pushes before they even happen, right? Like you probably won a lot of maps and scrims and matches where like the enemy team just literally can't get pushes together because Josh just plays this spot and he kills them every time they rotate, right? So as Pharah, you want to do the same thing, right? You want to just stand here, you play the strong spot, and you kill them every time they try to do something, right? That's your goal.
Behind you.
I want you a little bit more far, and then let's go.
I have power.
See how little you're able to do when there's like a Pharah in the, a Widow in the game who's holding angles on you. Like you just kind of like see here and then you immediately run. You fire like 4 rockets this entire time. So you know where she was. She was on the roof earlier. So your goal is to figure out how to cross the roof for the most part to get to her, right? So again, don't be afraid to flank, right? So if your team is showing this way and you shot rockets over here, like this is when you should go this way, right? Get underneath and then boost up to her and maybe you catch her by surprise, right? But you do have to flank the Widow. Like this is where you need to hide your location because you're not in a strong position, you're in a weak position. So you want to get to her, which and to do so you need a like flank. This is like super forced. You do actually get here though. Yeah, but again, super forced. You get the kill, which is nice, but again, if you, as Pharah, right, trading with the Widow is not important because now both of you are gone. So yes, you took out the oppressive Widow because Widow is oppressive, but you're no longer an oppressive Pharah because you're dead. So both of you are dead, which is net probably neutral, except your team has a Mercy, which is for you, right? So your team is like a hero that's kind of, I won't say dead weight, but not as useful now. So generally as Pharmacy, the reason why like hit scans are so problematic a lot of the times is because one of them pressures you into doing less, and now 2 heroes are doing less, right? So your goal is in this situation is pretty much always just to like kill her, not trade. I mean, trading it's better than dying, obviously, but you'd much rather kill her. And that way you're an uncontested Pharah with the Widow.
Systems online.
Rush here. Alright. I'll go next now.
Ready for battle.
Here's the Tor. Do you play anything else on defense? Or attack? We played Hanzo. I don't know how much you actually played of this, so I'm not sure how much there is to talk about. But we'll
With every
honor,
with honor, redemption.
Yeah, okay, there's not much to talk about here.
10 seconds.
Alright, next.
Ready. Round 1. Ready for battle.
Put your turret. Nice, good spot. That's not you, I hit the wrong person. There we go.
Well, I'm not paying you for your acting ability. Let's get moving!
Hey! I'm coming.
Alright. Remember, you don't actually want to stay here as Torb. You just want to come back here when they're not paying attention to it and go for flank shots, right? Because as Torb, well, not as Torb, but like just generally, like it's very easy to spam the high ground, but it's very hard to aim from here, right? And actually kill people. So you're just kind of here to make sure to let them know you're here and like scat their comp and also apply some early pressure, right? But then if they start pressuring you back, like you take the pressure you've gotten and you leave.
Turret's under fire! I'm overloading!
Again, if someone comes to your high ground, right, and you're not totally confident you can fight them off, just leave, right? Just back up, and then start coming back up the stairs. Alternatively, because your Zarya is also going to be going up the stairs, right? If Zarya is like already busy contesting stuff like that, doing that, you can actually just wrap all the way around his Torb, right? And like if they're not ready for it, like they're all fighting here and here, right? You just potentially just kill somebody. And especially if you drop a turret to cover you, right? You come out here, right? You throw a Torb kit, throw a turret, and then like E, and then just start chucking left clicks. You might kill Diana, and then you just run away, right? You have a Mega to bail you out if you get in trouble. And then you come back around the corner, you're with your team, right? And look at this, you're right next to the staircase, right? And that's something you can do because Torb is faster and also has a lot of bonus health, right? Between turret and armor, he's a lot of bonus health that can get him out of trouble. Unfortunate. I'm pretty sure if you just hung around this doorway, you get healed eventually. Or if you drop out of the doorway, right? Because like you don't feel confident, you feel like you might get chased, right? Don't actually jump over here, right? Because this is bad. Go this way, and now you can get healed, right? And again, you're over here. Oh, my Ana's really busy. Like my Rhine is dying. Oh, nice. Grab the Mega, and we're off on our flank, right? Do you see how this all just neatly ties into each other? This whole section of the map, this Mega, the flank, and the high ground, right? It's all so close together, and they all work together really well, especially for a character like Torb. But honestly, this goes for most characters. But like jumping back is just like, oof. It's definitely unlucky, but it was also not necessary, right?
Poser. Rocket dog. Light.
Barking the bellows!
So as Torb, or just like any DPS really, if you're recontesting and your team has site control for the most part, but you're not really sure how long that will last, you want to come out this direction. Because this gives you a potential flank ankle if they're pushing into your team. And then you just like drop the turret in here, and then like you push out. And again, if you need to fall back, you have a mini. You also have your spawners, right? You come out this way, and you fight, and you're in a great spot, and you create a crossfire, a natural crossfire with Josh. But meanwhile, if you come out this way, you guys have effectively the same angle, right? And it kind of sucks. That's not to say you shouldn't ever come this way. This is very situational. But again, if your team's getting pushed, and you're not sure by how much, right? Then you generally want to come from the other side and just get a free. Because again, like where the supports are, where are the supports, and enemy Rhine is pushing into your Rhine and back here, right? The enemy supports are right here, right? Where are you gonna come out? Right next to them, right? So that's what you should generally go for. Seems like your team is like actually on the fight though, so this is fine. Putting down the turret again. That armor is really early. You actually need the armor later, probably. You only took like 50 damage. I know that hurts a bit, but like just like you're fine, right? You'll be okay. You're also poking too early, So the point of getting the high ground isn't to like spam them from the high ground. It's to like threaten kills, right? So this is why like this is the premier hog flank, is because every time you come out, you can go for a hook and kill somebody, right? So what you want them to do is you really want them to walk like under you, kind of, right? And then like they're on it to like walk out this way, and as she comes out here, then like you just pop out, and then you just like press E and you just shotgun her from the high ground, right? And she'll probably die. And then if you can't get it again, you just back up, right? Either like drop off on the flank, or just go back down the stairs, right? Or even like drop off on this flank, right? Drop back here, drop a turret, start shooting, and then run around, grab the health pack, and rejoin your team from this side. And then, you know, maybe back up the stairs again. But that's really how you want to play this. Got him. So I like the focus on the supports, but you probably should have shot the Sig here. Or at least try to kill him. Where's the opportunity? So you kill him, good. Right? Sig walks into your Nano Rhine, right? I understand that these supports are here, but like, you should probably just try and kill Sig.
Time to let off some steam!
Focus my target.
You're using your E a little bit too much to move around, right? So you want to use E as like an escape, because the speed will get you out to safety, or like for mobility, like out of spawn when you know you'll have it back by the time you need to actually use it, or you want to use it to like duel, right? Because it's just bonus health. But the problem is like you're running out of, you use E a lot just to like relocate, or not a lot, but I guess in this instance you shouldn't have used E to get around the map, because you actually need it to fight, right? You're in a situation where your team is mostly dead and you just need to like fight, right? So unless you were intentionally trying to like mega brain it and try to feed less ultras on it, but yeah.
Ready to work!
Yeah. Generally speaking, you want to save E for fight. The fact that it gives speed is really nice for escapes as well. It gives speed and aim, but like that's not the primary purpose.
Very effective! Starting to build!
That's okay. Cross is really hard otherwise. And then you're also not actually gonna fight. Although I do think you can just hold the bridge. Not the bridge, sorry, their side. Okay, interesting. You really shouldn't like. I don't think you need to back, right? I think if you just stood here with the turret, you'd probably hold it down pretty reasonably. Like, cause like if this guy tries to 1v, like there are very few heroes that can like straight up 1v1 a Torb, right? Because like if this Echo tries, you just armor up and you kill her, right? Like don't be afraid to just hold your ground. The one thing you don't want to do is create the same angle as Josh, right? Because then like you guys aren't doing anything together, right? You either like they either give you the angle and both of you guys kill stuff and the enemy team is stupid, or they don't play that and they avoid you guys and neither of you guys do anything, right? And that's terrible, right? So what you want to do in order to enable Josh and to enable yourself is to just play a different spot, right? And you'll like, as long as you don't suicide for it, you'll be fine.
Get back in the fight.
But this is the third time you crossed the bridge in like 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, in like the last 10 seconds. Just like chill on one side, right? If you realize it's wrong, you go back, right?
Eyes on the back.
Yeah, and if you're holding the spot and you're trying to fight it, and like the freaking Rhine comes up the elevator, right? Then you can drop, right? You can drop on this side and you're still safe and you're still holding an off angle, right? But like, yeah, in your position, for example, to like take the elevators, right? So like the Rhine comes up here, you start trying to push across the bridge, you come up on the elevator, like assuming there's none of these guys aren't here, right? Like say like they're all on card or something, or up there with him. You come with the elevator, you pop Molten Core, like they're trying to cross the bridge with a Molten Core dropping around them, right? Like, and you can block off this spot so they can't push you again, right? Like there's a lot of things you can do, but like you don't want to be here because this is with your team, and being with your team sucks.
Great things for you.
Get in there, Bob. Engage.
Heroes never die.
I'm overloading!
I'm taking care of you.
Good, good!
All right, again, because your team is coming out from this side, right? This is a close spawn. Where should you go? You shouldn't go left because your team is coming from left, right? So you want to default to going out right side. Use the time that you have by being the first one out of spawn to come to the right side. And then as your team, like, say, for example, starts fighting over here, right? Like, because the enemy team's invading your spawn, right? You would just, like, push out, right? Take this spot, drop a turret here, jump on the high ground. You have control, right? Or save your turret if you want to, but, like, for when you get to the high ground. But either way, like, put the turret up here, right? Or do whatever you want. Jump up here, right? Now you have high ground control, and you can like start flanking and playing around the side of the map. If you saved your turret, like you can get over here, throw a turret over here, like good lord, giving me this turret's a pain, right? Or like just throw it down, like you can throw it down over here, right? Boom, this turret covers everything. It's so far in the back, it's like only like a couple people can shoot it. It's really annoying, right? You can fight this, or you can just drop the turret to come to fight the Echo and kill her, right? And then once you kill her, your turret's on like a 5-second cooldown, and then you throw the turret somewhere else, or you throw it over here, right? Again, really dominant positions. You win these fights. But you do need to keep flanking, right? You don't want to play with the same angle as your team because it locks your team into like pressure wars that you're probably going to lose because you don't have the off angle. Yeah, the enemy team can only do this, right? Because you're not out here like pushing the off angle, right? If you like were out here, right, this Hanzo would not feel nearly as confident just like dragging it down here and walking in, right? Same as this Ryan, same as this Sig, right? Or I guess the Lucio. Where's the Sig? Oh, he's back here, right? Same idea, right? If you're here, they'd have other things to worry about, right? And even if you're not successful, right, at killing someone, you still have the Mega, you still have your E to like bail you out, right? You can get into the map. There's a mini in here, right? There are things you can do. And if you're really desperate, you just run back in, get healing from your Ana, who's going to be in this general area, and at least you've lessened the pressure on this side to some extent, right? Sorry. Boys queuing up.
Done.
Alright. Okay, out. So again, right? Like if your Ashe is going to play this angle, where should you play? Well, this spot kind of sucks. This spot really sucks. So we really just want to like book it up here, right? And get up here and take control of the high ground. But you see how this Ryan and this Sig like block off all of your damage by themselves, right? Or not by themselves, but like they block out both of your damage by just shielding in one direction because you guys are pushing from the same angle, right? That's why you should come up here, force out, fight the Echo, right? If you lose, so be it, right? If you are thinking you should bring a Zarya or something with you, or ask the Ashe Mercy to do this, but generally speaking, you should also do this. Just come out, like try and at least contest this spot. Like don't let the Echo feel comfortable sitting here directly above you guys, waiting for you guys to come out, right? At least like make her worry about you, right? Alright, Josh handled it. So generally, with Torp, you actually want to like put out your splooge like as slow as you can. Because I mean you need to cover the important stuff first, so like put one back here, put one on the grab, put one like over here or something, right? Like spread them out a bit, and then also like just delay the last couple ones because the longer that they take to come down, or to deploy, right? The longer the effective duration of your ult is, right? And so that's why people like if you put some really late ones, especially if you throw like one or two last ones straight up in the air and make them land super late, that's when people get upset. It's like how long does the Torb ult last, right? Like you can make it last, you can actually intentionally make the ult last several seconds longer than it's supposed to, which adds a lot of value and it makes people have to keep worrying about things for much longer, right? So like if you look at this is like probably like 2 to 3. This is probably like 2 to 3. This is like a lot, right? It's a lot of stacked Torb, right? So what you want to do is like spread out as much as you can and delay it as much as you can. So that way like you get these same, you can get the same pattern, but keep it for longer, right? And that's it's actually a really big deal.
I'm overloaded!
I mean, to some extent, I understand that you need to fight, but the Torb is like just more DPS on your gun, so you know, might as well.
Locking on.
Much better! Show them what you
You
can
should really
do.
take this time to get high ground. like with Owen, for example, and just like if you play this area right, like you stick a turret like here, and then or like here or somewhere, right? And then you just sit here and you control this spot. You control the spot. You protect Owen. You have a turret that can also bodyguard him, right? Owen probably shouldn't play this actual doorway, but like I don't think he actually. I hope he will. I won't. I don't think he will, but like either way, you want to keep like you want your turret and you to be on the high ground because it's strong and you can also flank at any opportunity. The turret serves to protect the high ground, right? And then if you want to go aggressive, you just redeploy the turret, right? And you're in golden. You're golden to fight, right? So like say you're losing this fight and you just come out here and you drop a turret, right? And then you just sit here shooting, right? And they're trying to like win on this side, and then there's just a turret shooting the back. Like, oh, it's miserable, right? Because you're playing with your team, you're just eating all the AoE intended for like your team, right? Like the Anonade, for example, right? Forces out all your cooldowns, right? You just don't have a lot. Now you can be healing a lot more by yourself. You're pushing the same angle as well. All right, I think you get the memo. With Pharah, try to work yourself into strong positions, and then once you're there, stay there, right? Hold the spot, right? Between fights is your best opportunity to take and hold strong positions. Keeping in mind that like Pharah is hard to retake with, so whenever you're trying to retake as Pharah, if they have things that can suppress you, you have to identify what they are. So in most cases, that's a hit scan, right? And then you need a hard flank to get to them, and then commit, just blow them up, right? And then work your advantage by just like flying into people because they can't stop you, right? Just like start dropping, playing really low altitude, just shooting them from like point blank essentially. And then if they ever try to contest you, just fly away, right? Because you saved your shift. Find ways to extend your airtime with like rocket jumping and rooftops, right? Especially the slanted roofs, which are always really nice. And don't be afraid to solo barrage people to kill them because it's good. That said, if there's no diva in the game, barrage becomes actually a pretty good ult. So just keep it. No diva on the enemy team, sorry. So then just like look to just like for opportunities to just blow people up with support from your own diva or your own Zarya, or your monkey if he has bubble. I mean like he should have bubble. Like if you have monkey, then he can bubble. Is what I'm trying to say. Just really strong overall. And then on Torb, look to like flank, hold off angles, contest space, right? You never want to end up on the same angle as Josh because Josh is just a better hero for the angles that you're trying to for those angles generally. Plus, the best way to give Josh a better time and to give yourself better time is to get another angle to shoot them from. So they have to pick between defending against you or Josh, right? And generally speaking, people are going to want to run away from the hit scan. So that gives you lots of free shots, right? With your ult, don't forget to like delay it, spread it out, right? Play it slow. Just remember to E before you ult if you're going to be in danger during that time because you can't actually E during your ult for some reason. I don't know why. And those are the big things. Don't forget that you can move your turret all the time, so you don't stay locked into one turret spot. Turret wherever you want to push, right? Drop a turret there, hold it down, right? So you have one like basic spot that you always leave your turret, and then like once you're fighting, right? Like, commit your turret because turret is like 250 bonus HP, right? If you look, like you're literally a tank with 350 HP and 250 like bonus HP. So now you have like 150 armor. And 450 health. That's like more than Reinhardt. I mean, I think the turret takes bonus damage while it's deploying, but you get the idea. It's obnoxious. Those are the big points, I think. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll cut it here.